Boom. Just when you thought the Meek Mill versus Drake beef was dead and buried, Meek just resurrected at 10 this time. He didn't come to play. He came with receipts, rage, and a whole lot of unfinished business. In an unexpected late-night live stream, Meek dropped a bomb so massive it had fans screaming, "Is he talking about Drake again?" And oh yes, he was. Not just talking. Exposing screenshots, voice notes, and even an alleged contract clause that he says proves Drake has been sabotaging other artists behind the scenes. And this ain't just old beef reheated. This is fresh. This is messy. And this time, Meek swears he's not letting it slide. The crazy part? Insiders say this isn't even about music anymore. This is about power, manipulation, and one artist allegedly keeping the industry in a chokehold. And guess what? Drake's silence. It's only making things worse. Because the fans are choosing sides, and Meek's not done yet. So what exactly did Meek say? What's the real story behind this new expose? And why are other rappers already backing away from Drake in real time? You're not ready for this. But we're gonna break it all down to really understand how Meek Mill just turned the tables on Drake again. We gotta rewind back to a time when the world was eating popcorn watching one of the biggest rap beefs in modern history. Back in 2015, the Meek Mill vs. Drake saga set the internet on fire. What started as a tweet turned into diss tracks, memes, betrayal, and Meek getting painted as the L. The punchlines were brutal. The back-to-back track. It went down as legendary. Drake looked untouchable. And Meek. He became the punchline. Of barbershops, Twitter threads, and late-night shows. But behind the jokes and timelines was a much darker story. Because what fans didn't see what Meek's team stayed silent on for years was the pressure, the politics, and the power plays going on behind the scenes. Meek wasn't just being dragged by fans, he was being frozen out of playlists, shut out of venues, blackballed without anyone having to say it out loud. And who was at the center of all that energy? Drake. Multiple industry insiders whispered that Drake had connections at all the major streaming services, that certain gatekeepers had instructions to cool off Meek's buzz, that anything Meek dropped post-beef would face internal resistance. Some even claimed that a popular Toronto-based exec once said, "If Meek ain't falling in line, he ain't charting either." Fast forward to now 2025, Meek's rebuilt his image. He's dropped real music. He's made powerful alliances. He stayed out of beef. But guess what? That quiet streak, it's over. Because Meek just went live and set the entire hip-hop world ablaze. He didn't tease it. He didn't promote it. He just hit that button and, within 3 minutes, there were 90K people watching first words out of his mouth. Y'all still worship a man who told y'all I lied about the pen. Let me show you who really been lying. And then he pulled up a screen. Screenshots, voice memos. Even what he claimed was an old group chat from 2016 with OVO affiliates. In it, a message that read, "If Meek keeps talking, he's done. I'll have redacted call ROC. I'll have him removed from the summer tour push." Meek didn't say who wrote it, but fans put 2 and 2 together real quick. The names in that chat. Multiple known industry players, one of whom was spotted partying with Drake just last month. Then Meek dropped the BOMB. I've been silent outta. Love for the culture. But how can I love a culture that lets one man decide who eats and who starves? Bro, people in the comments were losing IT. The chat was flying. Emojis, say names, Meek. It's time. We been new Drake. Was shady, and you could see it in Meek's face. This wasn't a stunt. This was pain. This was years of being told to shut up, being blackballed, watching other artists thrive while he felt he had a muzzle on. He even said, "Y'all think the beef ended with diss tracks? It ended with me, broke, banned, and boxed in." He claimed that after their beef, he was personally called by two major label execs who told him point blank if he didn't apologize or squash things quietly, he'd be iced out for at least 2 years. He said, "I lost endorsements. I lost respect, but the thing I hate the most, I lost myself. I started to believe I deserved it." Then his voice cracked. "But I'm back now, and I ain't scared of the throne no more." That line. It shattered the internet. Suddenly, people started looking back differently at the last few years. Every slick Drake bar, every subliminal line, every time Meek's momentum just suddenly stalled, fans began asking, was Meek telling the truth all along? Did Drake really weaponize his influence to silence a rival? And more importantly, how many other artists has he done this to? Because Meek wasn't done. He hinted that he's not the only one who's been played, bullied, or quietly exiled behind the scenes. He said 3 words that shook everybody. Asked the Weeknd, "Wait, what does Abel have to do with this?" Was he another victim? Was his departure from OVO more sinister than anyone thought? The live stream ended shortly after that. Meek's phone buzzed. He read a message. Liv then stared into the camera and said, "They just told me I'm playing with fire. Guess what? I am the fire." Boom. The screen went black, and the next phase of this war. It's already starting to burn through Twitter, YouTube, and even the industry's inner circles. Because the screenshots Meek shared, the stories he hinted at, the names he dropped. That was just the beginning. Hours after Meek's surprise live stream shut down, the internet was still in panic mode. Fans were uploading screen recordings before they got wiped. Blogs were scrambling to verify. And major industry names. Silent. Too silent. But the story was just getting started. Because around 3:47 a.m., while timelines were still dissecting Meek's Ask the Week 9 Unverified account dropped a 49-second audio clip allegedly recorded at a private party in Miami last year. The voices, Meek Mill, and a familiar voice believed to be another chart-topping rapper. Name redacted. Now, here's the alleged snippet. You think he's still pulling strings out here? Bro, he never stopped. Playlist curators get that call. They hear OVO and everything freezes. That's why I'm saying, we gotta go public. If we don't, who will? Boom. And suddenly, it wasn't just Meek, V's, Drake anymore. It was a movement forming right under Drake's nose. But the real heat landed just before noon. Meek Mill dropped a tweet that nearly imploded Twitter. "They told y'all I was salty about ghostwriters. Nah, I was salty about being betrayed. He used me, then used the system." Screenshot in 5. The post hit 1.3 million views in 15 minutes. Then he dropped it. A blurry screenshot of an iMessage convo from 2015. The sender was labeled 6. The message? Just play the part, bro. After this rollout, we circle back and talk ownership. We can't both be loud at once. Fall back. What? People instantly lost it. Play the part. Fall back. Talk ownership. What the hell was Drake asking Meek to do and why? And more importantly, what did Meek give up by playing along? Fan reactions were instant at Street Saint Safe. So wait. Meek was set up to lose for a bigger plan Drake had cooking. At Body by Back, 2 Back, Meek was told to fall back. After being dissed, this ain't no regular beef. Sounds like strategy, power moves, and exploitation. Suddenly, the public perception flipped. Meek wasn't just a guy who lost a rap battle. He was a pawn in a much bigger game. And then came the celebrity twist no one saw coming. At 12:21 p.m., Rick Ross, the boss himself, posted this on IG stories. "They been playing with my dog for years. I held it down out of love, but silence ain't loyalty. I stand with Meek." Rick freaking Ross. And let's be clear, Ross and Drake have collaborated countless times. They've been cool publicly, never any real smoke. Until now. Ross dropping that message didn't just ruffle feathers, it cracked the entire industry alliance web. If Ross picked a side, who's next? Less than an hour later, an old freestyle from Meek surfaced. Fans started dissecting lines from 2017's Save Me, where he spit, "They told me keep it quiet or I'll lose my next advance, but I seen too much. Heard the deals, seen the hands. You? He'd been talking for years, we just weren't listening, but Meek, he's listening now, and he's done being polite." Then another bomb. A text thread leaked between a rising female rapper name withheld for safety and her manager. In it, she wrote, "I didn't get the feature. They said Drake heard the interview and don't want to be linked. Bro, I ain't even say nothing bad. Now, my album push is delayed." This is what Meek was screaming about. Quiet blackballing, backdoor politics. Drake allegedly built to keep himself on top, everyone else scared to speak. Meek responded by tweeting, "Y'all scared to say his name, but I'm not." And just like that, it felt like the dam had burst. But it didn't stop there, because just before 5 p.m., Drake's team finally responded. Not with a tweet, not with a post, but with a press release, and it was cold. The statement, released by OVO's legal rep, said, "We are aware of the defamatory statements being circulated regarding our artist. We are currently reviewing our options for legal action regarding the unauthorized distribution of fabricated messages and audio clips. Legal action." So Drake's team was calling cap. Was it fake? Were the messages manufactured? Was Meek bluffing? Or was this just the expected reaction of a machine trying to cover its tracks? The fanbase split instantly. One half was yelling, "Meek's reaching again." The other half, louder than ever, screaming, "We see through the label, lies." But the loudest voice came from an unexpected source. At 6:12 p.m., the Week 10 tweeted and deleted within 2 minutes. "The industry's garden has thorns. I got pricked too. Some of y'all know, some of y'all will. Oh my God." Abel, he ain't say names. But the implication? Clear as glass. This beef ain't personal. It's systemic. It's structural. And Meek just might to been the first one with the guts to grab a mic and scream, "Enough." And guess what? Insiders are saying he's just warming up because someone else, a Grammy-winning R&B star, was just spotted leaving Meek's studio, and rumors say she's got her own story about Drake, and she's ready to tell it. The Meek versus Drake saga was already exploding. But nobody was ready for what came next. It was around 8 p.m., less than 24 hours after Meek's viral livestream and Rick Ross's bombshell post, when a new video leaked on Twitter. X caption, "Unreleased reference track recognized this voice." The audio quality was rough, like it was recorded off a studio monitor, but the vocals crystal clear. And the moment the beat dropped, everybody's jaw hit the floor. It was the same melody as Drake's 2021 hit Fair Trade, but the vocals were coming from someone else. A deeper voice, less polished, raw, emotional, slightly slurred, but undeniably Meek Mill. WAIT. What? Was this proof that Meek had reference tracked a Drake song and never got credit? The internet imploded. Fan pages compared lyrics line. Even AI software confirmed 78% lyrical and cadence overlap. And that one line from the leaked version, "I've been giving game to a king that won't admit the crown don't fit him no more." That ain't a bar. That's a shot. And here's the craziest part. Within minutes, the video was flagged, taken down, and re-uploaded to Reddit, Telegram, and fan-run Discord servers, but one uploader claimed their phone was remotely locked shortly after posting it. Bro, is someone actively scrubbing evidence behind the scenes? Then things took a darker turn. At 9:46 p.m., Drake's longtime engineer, under a burner account, posted a cryptic message in a private producer forum. "We all knew Meek had dirt. We didn't think he'd risk it all." There's more. And y'all, not ready for what that studio session looked like. Wait, what studio session? Are we talking about the session where the reference track came from? The one that supposedly proved Drake took inspiration, aka full verses, from Meek even after their beef. And if so, what else is sitting in hard drives? And then came the IG Live that broke the internet. At 10:12 p.m., Summer Walker randomly went live, no makeup, hoodie on, no filter. She didn't say anything for a full minute. Just stared at the camera like she was debating if she should even do this. Then finally she whispered, "This not my beef, but I can't keep pretending." The chat lit up. Is this about Drake? Summer? Don't do this unless... You ready? Drop the receipts. Summer sipped from her cup and continued. They blackballed my collab. I had a track with Meek. 2 years ago, he told me the feature was good to go. Then I got an email saying the OVO camp doesn't approve of your narrative. And just like that, poof, no release. No conversation, just control. Then she ended the live with one final bomb. I'm glad he's finally speaking up. I wish more of us could. And just like that, another voice entered the chorus. Another major. Artists saying they've felt the chokehold, the behind-the-scenes power trips, the silent censorship. Meek tweeted one word minutes later, "Thank you." And that's when the timelines went into total meltdown to major hip-hop pages at Rap Insight and at Hip Hop Daily were suddenly deactivated. Fans started reporting that IG was blocking hashtags like hashtag free the reference, hashtag Meek was right, and hashtag Drake exposed, and then a rumor dropped that Apple Music had started quietly removing Meek Mill from several major playlists. If true, this would prove Meek's claims about silent blackballing and influence from Drake's circle. One Apple Music user even recorded their screen showing Meek's levels being replaced in a curated playlist by a different song. Coincidence? Nah. The internet wasn't buying it. People started posting side-by-sides of Meek's stream counts before and after the drama. Guess what? Multiple tracks mysteriously dropped by tens of thousands in 24 hours. Fan reactions got more aggressive. At Digitalks Hip Hop, the industry is proving Meek's point while trying to deny it. This ain't a war. This is a purge. And not that Drake stan. I love Drake's music, but if this is true, can't support this level of sabotage. Even DJ Academics normally Team Drake hinted at something sketchy going on, y'all. Think Meek's crying wolf again? I used to think that too. Until I saw what happened to other artists that crossed the throne. Other artists started liking shady posts, throwing eyes in the comments, or tweeting lyrics about freedom, silencing voices, and protecting the culture. Then at 11:30 p.m., Meek Mill posted the tweet that shattered the night. One of your faves got a story too, and he about to tell it. This don't end with me. Fans started theorizing immediately. Who's next? The Weeknd. Already teased, Summer Walker. Just dropped her truth. Party next her. He's been oddly silent for years, Bryson Tiller. Rumors he was shelved after refusing an OVO cosign. But then, an old 2018 tweet from Tory Lanez resurfaced. One that now reads way too suspicious. It's not about the crown, it's about the leash that comes with it. And the final twist of the night. A voicemail sent anonymously to a YouTube drama page allegedly from a former OVO employee. They've been covering up ghostwriting for years. The real reason Meek was crushed back then. He wasn't supposed to win. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. This isn't just beef. This is systemic manipulation, control tactics, and emotional warfare, all protected by a golden PR machine and Meek. He's still got cards left to play. Because tomorrow, he says he's dropping the document. And if what we've seen so far was just the warm-up, then that document might be the one file that finally cracks the OVO kingdom from the inside. The internet hadn't even caught its breath before World War hip-hop went full throttle. After Meek's leaks, Summer Walker's revelation, and that voice note claiming sabotage, the public wasn't just watching anymore, they were choosing sides. And let's be clear, this wasn't just about music. This was about loyalty, power, manipulation, and the truth everyone already suspected but was too afraid to say out loud. By sunrise, hashtag Team Meek and hashtag Team Drake were trending globally. Every hip-hop blog, YouTube channel, and Twitter thread was dissecting every word. At BardaBaby posted, "Meek ain't lying. Ask any artist who didn't kiss the ring. They disappear real quick." At Fake Smiles, OVO replied, "All this crying 'cause he got bodied in 2015. Meek been bitter for a decade. But the smoke wasn't limited to stans and barbershop Twitter. Major artists started reacting. And some of the responses were shocking. First up, French Montana liked a tweet that read, "Drake solid, but that Meek exposed Loki, believable. That power to clean, too quiet." Fans immediately clocked it. Was French switching up? He's been tight with both parties. His sudden neutrality said everything. Then Corday tweeted, "If you gotta silence artists to stay number one, were you ever really number one?" The subtext, too obvious. Fans were calling it a lyrical sneak diss, and Corday didn't deny it. And then came the real game changer. Charlemagne Tha God went OFF on The Breakfast Club. "Y'all really surprised?" Come on, I've been saying for years. Drake got industry fingers in every pot. From playlists to press coverage. Meek ain't salty. He finally fed up. He paused, then added, the scary part. If Meek got this much proof, imagine what other artists are holding back. Scared, trapped, gagged by NDAs and politics. Even academics, who's famously. Team Drake finally wavered. On a live stream, he said, "I ain't saying Drake did everything Meek claiming, but brew, too many voices, too much noise. This ain't random. It's a pattern." That's when it hit. This was no longer Meek Mill versus Drake. This was artists versus the machine. And Drake was looking less like the king of rap and more like the face of the control system. And things got messier when Spotify's editorial staff started liking tweets about artist suppression and streaming manipulation. YUP. Streaming. Platforms were paying attention now. Meanwhile, some of the OVO faithful were fuming. One fan account wrote, "We ride for Drake till the wheels fall off. Y'all think a few receipts gonna destroy a decade of dominance? Meek need to worry about staying relevant." Another added, "Everyone crying foul now, but when Drake gave y'all a feature, y'all was silent." But fans weren't buying the damage control. They started compiling receipts of artists who suddenly vanished after clashing with Dre or refusing to play ball. Tory Lanez, frozen after subtle jabs in 2018. Bryson Tiller, mysteriously shelved after declining. OVO affiliation.ilovemakonnn, completely dropped after friction. Party Next Door gave away hits, disappeared. At Truth Is Lyrics wrote, "The pattern. To clear. OVO's like a gift box that turns into a cage." Even die-hard Drake supporters were shook by The Weeknd's earlier tweet, that thorn metaphor. It was still trending. Fan theory threads exploded on Reddit, titled things like, Drake, the industry's friendly gatekeeper or quiet dictator. Meek might be the hero we clowned too soon. OVO equals only voices obeyed. Brew. That one went wild. But then, a new wave hit. SCA, who hadn't been involved at ALL, liked a post from Summer Walker that said, "We need a new wave of freedom in this industry." Period. Fans lost. IT was SSE a throwing shade, co-signing Meek, or just tired of the machine herself. All of this pressure, still, Drake hadn't spoken. No tweets, no stories. Just silence. That silence only fanned the flames, and with Meek teasing that his next move would include a full document drop, complete with label names, emails, redacted contract clauses, and a few surprise voice memos, the streets were buzzing. But the question on everyone's mind, why now? Why is Meek willing to risk it all now, after years of playing nice? His final tweet of the night answered it. "Because I finally realized you can't beat a system you're afraid to expose." And just like that, the next phase of this war was inevitable. Just when the industry thought it had a grip on the Meek Mill situation, boom, he did it again. At exactly 12 a.m., Meek posted a cryptic image to Instagram, a blurred-out folder labeled "Silenced," the files they never wanted you to see. The caption? Just 5 chilling words. "You ready for HER story?" Fans froze. Her? Who is her? Speculation ran wild instantly. Summer Walker already spoke. SZA liked shady tweets. Cardi B. She'd been mighty quiet lately. But then Meek went live again, and the first thing out his mouth. "I held this for years. Tay. But if I fall, I ain't falling alone." He opened that same folder on camera and what he pulled up shook the world. The contract dated 2019, signed between a streaming platform. He blurred the name, but fans could tell, and a major female artist. The contract included a visibility clause requiring approval from select collaborators teams before any project would receive full playlisting support at the bottom of the page. One signature, the artist, and right next to it, Drake's name listed under executive override. Brew. Meek didn't say the artist's name outright, but the internet didn't need him to. Normani started trending instantly. Why? Because in 2019, Normani dropped one of the most viral solo singles of her career. Huge rollout, massive buzz. But at the last minute, the song disappeared from every major playlist within 2 weeks. It was never explained, and now? This contract hinted. At Y. Then came the real dagger. Meek said, "Y'all ask why she vanished. Ask who didn't approve her next record. Ask why she never got that Drake feature." Fans screamed. This wasn't a rap beef anymore. This was a control ring. An alleged system of silent approvals, secret conditions, and Drake acting as a silent executive gatekeeper. Twitter went into overdrive at Fan4Normani. All those years we thought she was underpromoted. She was being buried. At Break This System posted, "Meek just exposed a network of suppression. Y'all thought it was petty beef. Nah, this is industrial warfare. And guess what? It got worse. At the end of the live, Meek pulled out his phone, played a voice note, a woman's voice. Fans say it sounded exactly like Normani. She whispered, "I tried. I really tried. They told me if I speak out, my career's done. I wasn't crazy. I was quiet to survive." Bro, within minutes, Normani trended at #1, and hashtag Drake the Gatekeeper surged globally. But then, the live ended abruptly. Meek's account temporarily suspended. What? And just like that Tradio silence, no uploads, no tweets, no comments. Even Summer Walker's page started glitching. Fans reported not being able to tag her. Was someone behind? The scenes pulling strings in real time. Then, the final shock of the night. A brand new Twitter account popped up. At Free Voices Movement Tit posted one thing: Meek wasn't alone. More coming, they said. Don't speak. We say, watch us. No names attached, no location, just energy. This isn't just a moment. It's a mutiny, and the next file. They say it names a major award show. And how one artist allegedly bought his way to a Grammy? Yup, it's about to get way bigger than Meek. This ain't just beef anymore. This is an industry civil war. Meek Mill didn't just clap back, he lit a match under the entire machine. The leaked contracts, the silencing of female artists. The executive override clause with Drake's name on it. Bro, this is deeper than music, if even half of what Meek just showed is real. We're looking at one of the biggest exposure movements in the history of hip-hop. And let's be real, Drake's silence ain't helping, so now it's your turn. Drop a comment. Do you think Meek just blew open a secret gatekeeping system? Was Normani really shut down by Drake's camp? And who do you think is next to speak out? Hit that like button if you believe artists should be free to speak. Subscribe if you're done with industry manipulation and want real stories, real voices, and every leak the labels pray you don't see. Turn on notifications because what's coming next? It might be the one leak that finally pulls Drake into a war he can't silence. And you already know. We got eyes on at Free Voices Movement. We're tracking the next document drop. And we just got word that a Grammy-winning pop star might be next to break her NDA. Don't blink. Don't scroll. The system is shaking. And Meek, he ain't done yet.